Hey there YouTube, it's Elizabeth. In this video I pot up two new plants, a Monstera Siltepecana and an Anthurium hybrid. So come along with me as I do some planty chores. Alright, today we will finally be potting up this Siltepecana. It's a Monstera Siltepecana. I got it when I was on vacation in Charlotte, North Carolina. I got it at a cute little plant store called Grow. And it has been hanging out by the window for 2 weeks, so it is ready to be potted up. I haven't watered it, I haven't taken a look at the roots or anything. It's just been hanging out, but I'll show you what else I have. I have a pot for it. It's pretty big, but it's the only one that I have, so it's gonna have to work out. I got it at TJ Maxx for $9.99. It has an attached saucer, which I like. I also have my orchid potting mix. I always use this stuff. It has bark and charcoal and coarse perlite in it. It's very chunky and it keeps me from overwatering my plants. So yeah, I really like this stuff. I get it at Lowe's. I have some wire and a pair of scissors that I'm going to use to attach the plant to the moss pole, and here is my moss pole. I made it yesterday. It is filled with sphagnum moss, and yep, so those are all my supplies. Let me just set up my camera and we will get started. All right, I'm going to dump out the plant and take a look at the roots. Roots look good. There they are. Yeah, this pot is definitely too big, but again, we're just going to go with it. It's going to work out. We'll make it work. There's the moss pole in, and I'll start, well, no, what I'll first do is wire the plant to the moss pole. And I'll wire it so that the aerial roots touch where the moss is, so that they have a chance to grow into the moss. There's 2 growth points on this plant, and I chose this one in particular because the growth points are actually, well, the plant, let me start over. I chose this plant in particular because the lengths of the vines are actually pretty short, because I didn't want it to like take up half of the moss pole and then start at that point growing into the moss pole. I wanted it to start from fairly low down growing into the moss pole, if that makes sense. So I chose one where the vines weren't very long to begin with. So that way it can just establish itself lower down on the moss pole and get started from down low and then grow from there. I hope that made sense. So there's 2 plants on here, so I'll just position them a couple inches apart, maybe 1.5 inches apart. And I'll just wire it in place. And then I'll put one more on here. And the goal is, as soon as this plant is established onto the moss pole, it will grow up the moss pole without the need of me wiring it in place. It will, like, its aerial roots will actually know to feel for the moss pole, and it'll just kind of grow up itself, which is pretty cool. Okay, there's the one. Now let me get the other one. put them a little closer together, I think. What did I say, 1.5 inches? Yeah. Oops, don't fall over. Okay, there's one. I'll attach it in just one more place, I think. All right, I've got the plants pinned to the moss pole, so I'll just fill it up with the orchid potting mix. Oh, you know what I forgot to do is backfill the moss pole with the orchid potting mix. So I will just do that right now with the plants on it. Okay, now it is ready to go. I thought I would need 2 bags, but I think I was able to get away with just using the 1 bag, so I got lucky there. Oh, hi Newman. All right, that bag is empty and this pot is full. So there it is, very cute. I don't know where I'm gonna put it yet. I'm kind of out of space for my moss poles. I think I will put it by the window, and I'm gonna have to move some of my poles around. Actually, I think I'm gonna put my Purezzo Verde by the window and put this under the grow light where my Purezzo Verde is. So I will give it a water and go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and give it a water. The moss pole itself is fairly moist because when I made the moss pole yesterday, I used moist moss. That's a tongue twister. But let's just water the substrate. This plant, like I said, hasn't been watered in a couple weeks. I went ahead and watered the pole as well, just a little bit. So it's flowing out of the bottom. Just tip it to let it drain out. There, that should be good. Let me go move some moss poles around. So what I want to do, here's my Purezzo Verde right here. I'm going to put this by the window next to my silver sword, which means my alocasia needs to move somewhere else. So I'm going to move this down here. And then, oh, I was just giving it a drink, so let me move the water bottle. Let me see if I can do this one-handed. Oh, yep, it's kind of heavy. Okay, so that's up there. Let me scoot you over. You can be in the middle. It's my pastazanum or pastazanum, which reminds me I have to do something with this. So yeah, I will take care of that in a minute. And then I will put this up there. So now if I back up, that's what that looks like. And then I will get my new Siltepecana and put it where the Purezzo Verde used to be. But I think I need 2 hands for it. Okay, now I have the Siltepecana where the Preso Verde used to be. And hopefully the leaves will kind of perk up and reach toward the light and look a little bit happier. But I think that looks cute. So now, like I said, I wanted to take this pastazanum, and I don't know what happened. Well, let me take it into the light and I'll show you. So this whole chunk became uprooted somehow. I don't know what happened, if it just wiggled its way out or what, but I need to kind of repot that down back into the substrate. So let me go ahead and do that. I think what I'll do is just kind of dump this out and repot it so that it's farther down into the soil. These plants, both of them, obviously both of them, have been kind of giving me a hard time. They've gotten spider mites a lot. And the leaves just aren't unfurling very nicely. Oh, the roots are a little bit tangled up. But you can see there, the leaves are just a little bit curled, and like that one especially is kind of deformed. This one is dying, but it has a hole in it. It just didn't unfurl very nicely. So I don't know if the spider mites have anything to do with that, but it's a little concerning. It's still growing, and the roots look pretty good, so I'm just going to keep it where it is and keep an eye on it and make sure that I stay on top of the spider mite issue. Okay, I tried to do that and it didn't really work, so let me try again. I remember when I potted these plants up for the first time, I was pretty concerned about which direction they were facing because they are crawlers and I wanted them to crawl in the same direction in this pot. But that was a couple months ago, I think, and so far I can't tell which direction they're crawling in, so I'm not as concerned about directionality when potting these two up. I'm actually using just all the substrate that's on this cookie sheet. We're just going to get a mix. And I don't think it'll hurt the plant one bit. There we go. That looks much better. It's much more stable. That leaf's going to come off. Let's put in the name tag. And brush the dirt off the leaves. And that looks much better. Again, let's give this guy a water. Just a little bit. And we'll put him back on the windowsill. Hey, Chico. What are you doing? Got your toy? Yeah. Good toy. There we go. Okay. Oh, sad news. This plant, my Begonia maculata. So I showed in my last video me doing sort of a last-ditch effort in saving this plant. I cut the sticks way back in order to try and promote some new growth. And I also had a bunch of propagations that I stuck in here. Not all of them were rooted, but some of them were. And you know what? It is time. This plant is going in the trash. The propagations did not take, and where I cut back the sticks, I'm not seeing any new growth. And so, you know what? Trash time it is. There were other leaves on this plant, and those leaves have fallen off. There's this is the only little, leafy section of the plant. So I'm not happy with it. It's not a happy plant. Even the pot has a crack in it, so I'm going to throw the pot away as well. So here we go to the trash can. I don't know what happened. Well, I say that quickly. I rewind. I think I overwatered it, but it was never a happy plant. So I don't know if it was a humidity issue or if the substrate, if there was an issue with the substrate or what. But you know what? It's not the plant for me at this time in my life. So thank you, maculata, for being in my life. Because of you, I know not to buy another Begonia maculata at this phase in my plant career, or not career, journey. So there we go. That's done and dusted. Let me turn the camera around. I actually did buy another plant that I will be putting where the begonia was. I bought an Anthurium, and I have an Anthurium andreanum, which is the really common type with the really pretty flowers, or spathes. And so I have one, and I thought I would get another one because it's an aroid, and I like aroids, and they don't require a moss pole, and I have quite a few moss poles, and I'm kind of out of space. I'm out of vertical space. And so I bought one. It's a Crystallinum magnificum verde hybrid, I think. But I'll definitely be showing it to you when I get it in the mail. I bought it off of Etsy. It was, I think, $35. It is a seedling. Not super tiny, but you know, it is a baby plant. And I'm really excited to kind of maybe start an Anthurium journey. I don't want to go crazy, but we'll see, you know, where this takes me. So yeah, I will definitely show it to you when I get it in the mail. There is another thing I want to show you. I want to show you my tomato plants. I have 3 Better Boy tomato plants that I got at the plant swap, maybe, I don't even know, 2 months ago. And they were 3 small tomato plants, and I potted them. Let me back up. I don't know anything about tomato plants. I've never done tomatoes before. And so I potted them all together in a 1-gallon container, and then learned that they grow a lot bigger than what a 1-gallon container will fit. And so, well, let me just show you. Let's go outside on the porch. Okay, I'm fully aware that my neighbors are going to be watching me film, so I'm gonna keep this short. But here are my tomato plants. 1, 2, 3, and my Boston fern. So let me show you. I actually have, if I can find one. Yeah, here's one. I actually have a little tomato right there. And there's another one. Here it is. Right here. Right there. Look at that. So I got these pots for free, and I separated them back into three individual pots, and I think they'll be happier this way. So yeah, I'm really excited about getting tomatoes this year. I hope they continue to thrive. I have to water them pretty often, otherwise they go really droopy, but yeah, so far so good. My Anthurium came, yay! I'm pretty sure in the listing it said that it was going to be shipped bare root, so I'm going to open this up right away and get it into some sort of substrate. So let me put the camera on tripod and we will open it together. I wasn't expecting to be doing this today, but it came a lot faster than I thought it would, which is great. But you'll have to excuse my hair. It's still wet from work. I shower at work. But yeah, let's open this guy up. Oh, the leaves are velvety. Ooh. Okay. Look, there it is. There's the biggest leaf. I have to look it up again, but I think it's Crystallinum magnificum verde hybrid. In fact, let me look it up right now just so I'm not giving you the wrong information. Newman, don't. Okay, Crystallinum magnificum verde hybrid is what it is. And I love it. I love it. It has velvety leaves and it has sparkly, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but where the veins are, it's actually sparkly. Yeah, I don't think the camera's going to pick it up. Yeah, sorry. But I can see it and I love it. Let me look at the roots. We've got crescent seal around it. And some paper towel, which is still moist. And it looks like it's in a whole mix of stuff. There's sphagnum moss, there's charcoal, and there's perlite. The roots look really nice. I'm gonna put it in orchid bark because I like putting aeroids in orchid bark. It's an orchid bark. You saw it earlier on in this video. It's orchid bark, charcoal, and chunky perlite. So I'm gonna put it in that. So let me grab a pot and some potting medium. Don't eat that. I don't want you eating any of this stuff. Okay, I've got my potting mix here. And I've got 2 pots, just 2 different sizes. I'm gonna go with the smaller of the 2. Yeah. And I wonder if I can just keep the roots in the potting medium that they're in and just add in the orchid bark around this. I don't think there would be a problem with that. I think I'll do that. We'll put a little bit of this at the bottom. Dang, look how big these chunks are. I don't need anything that big. And then I'll just put this in and fill it up with more potting mix. And that should be good. And then I think as it gets a little bit more established, I will take it out and just take all the sphagnum moss off of it and just put it in straight orchid bark potting mix. Okay, that was easy. There it is. Crystallinum magnificum verde hybrid. So I will put this by maybe by this window, because I was thinking of putting it by my north facing window, but that one doesn't get very much light and I want to give this the best chance because it is kind of a special plant. So I think I'll put it by an east-facing window. Let me scoot some of these plants over and I'll just put it in this window here. So some of these are kind of struggle plants, so please don't judge. But I think I'll just put it right in the middle. There we go. I've got also up here I have a couple orchids. This one, it's putting out another root. I'm pretty sure it's a root. Let me see if I can show you. There, that little nubbin right there. I'm pretty sure it's a root. I'm hoping it's a shoot, but I'm pretty sure it's a root. And then I have my aglaonema here that I brought to the plant swap and no one wanted it. And I brought it home kind of to die. But I put it in this window just only because the cats can't get to it up here. And it is giving me all this new growth. A new growth point here, a new leaf here, one here, and one, I don't know if you can see it, but it's hiding in there. So that's really exciting. All it needed was some more light. So I'm trying to do the same for my peace lily, which is really sad. I kind of don't want to talk about it, but yeah, I'm putting it up here. I'm giving it lots of light to see if it'll come back from near death. And then the fourth plant there is another Phalaenopsis orchid. It was in bloom, and the final bloom just fell off today. So I'm guessing the inflorescences are going to die back. It is giving me another leaf. So anyway, those are just the plants up here, and now my little Anthurium can join them. Anyway, I think that's going to be the end of the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.